Hey everyone, welcome to Car Review. Today we're going to do a no spoilers review of Shazam, so let's get right into it. And oh man, Shazam, I full on loved this movie. I straight up, I loved it. I did not love everything about it, but overall, it really was just a great movie to me. You know, DC comes off of Aquaman with yet another win. You know, they're really finding their niche, okay? They know how to make great, fun, entertaining superhero movies, you know, and it's good to have your dark stuff. I mean, some superhero stories do certainly serve as a darker tone and premise, you know. I mean, Logan, you obviously can't, you know, interject many jokes and lighthearted humor and stuff like that into that kind of movie, but Shazam totally fits its genre, its style, and it does it masterfully. As I said, you know, just previously, I did not love everything about this movie. I'm just going to comment on those things really quickly because they're really small, and everything else I just loved. The one negative I have against this movie is that the dialogue was not the greatest, you know, especially amongst the child actors, you know, and you know, obviously they're child actors. They don't have a whole lot of experience compared to other veteran actors, you know, who are much older than them, but the dialogue that they spoke, at times it was a little cringeworthy, and so just, that's pretty much my only criticism. I really can't think of anything else, and I mean, I just got out of the theater, so if I'm missing something, I mean, it's not worth talking about. So yeah, just some of the dialogue just needed a little bit of work, but we're gonna get into the meat here, and this movie is a lot of fun, and it knows exactly what it wants to be and what it wants to do, and it does it all greatly. This movie is so much fun, and it's such a thrill. I mean, it perfectly captures, you know, what it would be like to be a young adult or a teenager who suddenly gets the abilities of, say, Superman, you know, with super strength and who can fly and stuff. And it is so much fun, and it is funny, and it's a great adventure, but it's also really touching, okay? There are moments in this movie where I teared up a few times, you know. They play on that family dynamic, and they know how to, you know, treat this as a family-oriented movie. Anybody can see this, whether you're a die-hard superhero fan or you're new to the whole genre and world of comics and superheroes, or even if you're just a kid, because this movie certainly does pander to kids in a more fun way, and it's great. It's a lot of fun. And as I said, you know, this movie definitely has some very kiddie moments. David F. Sandberg comes from a horror filmmaking background, and there are certainly horror elements that show in this movie, particularly in the villains, and I won't spoil anything. But yeah, there are some scenes with the villains where I was like, ooh, okay, they're totally leaning a little bit on the horror side, and I like that a lot because that worked great with Aquaman, with James Wan. I mean, he came off the Conjuring series, and I didn't see the Conjuring because, you know, I don't like scary movies, but the trailers alone just gave me the shivers, so that's enough for me. But, you know, DC knows how to walk that line between, like, okay, we know your wheelhouse, you're strong in this area, and let's see what else you can do for us. And they know how to tiptoe that line, okay? This movie is a lot of fun, but it also has some moments where you're like, oh man, like, it can get serious. I mean, it really can, but it's such a great balance, and it's so much fun. This is something, seriously, the whole family can see. I can't stress that enough, because in my theater there were a lot of kids who were laughing, having a good time, and I saw this with my dad, and he was having a good time too, you know, and he read the Shazam comics, the original Captain Marvel comics, back when he was, you know, a kid, and he said he loved it. I mean, so that just, to me, that's just so awesome that this movie can, you know, be accessible to all audiences of all ages, and that's what it should be, because, you know, a superhero movie at its core is fun, and this movie is a lot of fun. Okay, action's good, the visual effects are good, the actual suit that Shazam wears, I think, is like top-notch, like stitching and design. Like Captain Marvel, I gave props to her suit because I thought it looked really crisp and clean, and so does Shazam. Whoever designs these costumes and stuff, they know exactly what they're doing. And, you know, also, I mean, that's such a small detail, but it's enough of a standout to where I wanted to comment on it. But when you see this movie, you'll know that the story is what really drives this home, okay? They know how to tug at the heartstrings, and they do it so well. This movie will make you feel like a kid again. This movie will be really accessible, and you'll feel for the characters. You'll feel for the struggles that the hero faces, being Shazam, but then you also feel for the struggles that Billy Batson, the kid, faces, and the dynamic between being a kid who is now in a male body with these abilities when he's totally out of his element. I mean, they get that. I mean, it kind of rings home to like Spider-Man, you know, like with great power comes great responsibility. And you see that arc throughout this movie. You see this kid, you know, realize, oh my gosh, look, I can fly, you know, I can, you know, beat up my bullies now, and I can, you know, do all this and stuff. And then he realizes, no, I can do good, and I should do good. And it's such a great transition because it feels so genuine, and this movie feels really genuine. I feel like the people that made this movie enjoyed the process, and they are just, you know, really appreciative of the final outcome. And that's great. You know, when you can see the care and the love in the actual making of the movie, I mean, that is, you know, that's real. And this movie captures a lot of great emotions, and it's just, it's so well done. And I don't mean to like ramble, but I mean, there's a lot to dissect here. I mean, the best review you could ever give this movie is just to tell somebody to go see it, because they need to see this for themselves. It is something that you have to experience. And I mean, DC, you know, say what you will about, you know, the former stuff. I mean, you know, I like some darker storylines, like I said earlier, but like, just what they've been doing, they know how to make really fun movies, and Shazam is certainly one of them. It was a great time at the theater, and I highly recommend it. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else. It's just, it's so much fun, and it picks fun at its own, you know, state of being. You know, like it knows what it is. It knows it's a superhero movie. It knows it's in a larger universe. You know, and it's just, it's so much fun. And I don't mean to retread here, but this movie really is just a lot of fun, and you should definitely see it. It is good. It's another win for DC, and I can't wait to see more of Shazam. You know, I had no idea what Shazam was, other than kind of like a B-list Superman. But now having seen his solo movie, I can't wait for more, and I hope that we get more movies like Shazam, because that is how you make a superhero movie. So, you know, that is all I have for Shazam. I don't want to, you know, to keep on rambling and retreading on my previous comments. So yeah, that is it for Shazam. You know, short, sweet, to the point. This movie is it's good. It's really good. Oh, I did think of one thing though just now that I didn't really care for, and that's just, it felt a little long. It felt a little long, especially in the third act. It you know, it could have wrapped up a couple minutes earlier. I don't know why I just thought of that now when I, you know, did all the bad stuff at the beginning. But whatever. Yeah, that's it. But I mean, if a little bit of dialogue and the runtime is a little bit of an issue, like, that's nothing. Give me more of a good thing. But yeah, they stretched it out a little bit at the end. But otherwise, this movie is masterful, and I want to leave you on a good note. So yeah, please go see Shazam. It is super good. I can't wait to see it again, and I hope it gets the widespread love this movie deserves, because this is how you make a superhero movie. So if you like this video, comment, share, like, subscribe to all the good stuff, and I will see you in the next one. All right, peace.